What is up, guys? Dzeeff here, and we're here in Oklahoma for the last United States UDS event, which is a real shame because, it holds a special place in my heart. You know, besides just being a super competitive event with some of the best players from around the country, it's also just like the first event that I got a premier top at, which is really exciting. But we're here in Oklahoma, and by the way, shout out to my girlfriend because it was Valentine's Day weekend, and I would not be here without her. So we had a fun Friday night, Valentine's Day and stuff. Luckily, it was on Friday, not Saturday or Sunday. But then we played Yu-Gi-Oh! Saturday and Sunday, so that was pretty cool. Would not have showed up here if she didn't want to come along to Oklahoma with me. Obviously, I'm not going to come here for Valentine's Day just by myself, so thank you so much. She's my rock. She's always here behind the camera, so we've already done 6 takes this video, and she's hasn't complained too much yet. So, and also, we have the jankiest setup ever. We're on an ironing board because this room just didn't have a really good table. So that's just what we're doing. We're just living life and making decisions, doing deck profiles on ironing boards. But anyway, I play Altergeists. I think this deck is really rough right now. I know I said that before, but now if you look at the side decks from the top cut, everyone's playing 3 evenly and 3 lightning storm in their side decks, and it is just really, really difficult. You can't just will the solemn judgment to your hand. There's not a good way to search it. I've tried, and it's just it's really, really tough. I was even considering playing Guiding Ariande, just try to search it, but there's no way you can do that. So I felt for playing Altergeists right now, there's 2 big things they need to think about. First off, I built this deck to win as many game 1s as humanly possible because I feel game 1, they're usually not going to have Lightning Storm and Evenly Match unless they're a dinosaur deck or a going second deck. So game 1, you can capitalize going first or second on your opponent not having those cards, those just complete blowouts in their deck. So I think winning game 1 as many as possible is the most important thing, and I really took that into account when building this deck. There's some kind of crazy choices in here that you'll see. And then the other thing is that in games 2 and 3, this is kind of divided right now. It seems the popular opinion is just not playing cards for Evenly Match and Lightning Storm just because you're just hoping your opponent doesn't draw them, and I think that kind of works, but I just want to be the master of my own destiny. So I scoured the internet. I literally sat there and read through every single counter trap in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Database trying to find something to stop Evenly Match and a Lightning Storm, because there's cards like Stellar Road and Huge Revolution is Over and Waking the Dragon that are really good against Lightning Storm, and there's cards like Wiretap that are really good against Evenly Match, but there's not a lot of overlap. I even had Dark Bribe in my deck list until Thursday night, and then Friday I found a new card, and this new card I feel is one of the craziest deck options for Altergeists right now, and I really, really liked it. It was super overpowered. We'll go through that in the side deck later on, and I've seen people play it in the past, not in Altergeists, not for Lightning Storm, not for Evenly Match. I saw one person play it a couple weeks ago in Altergeists in a topping deck list, but other than that, I just haven't seen it at the top tables, and especially in Altergeist deck lists. So I really want to show that to you guys. And I was mostly just testing for Vegas here. I wish I would have done better, but I did pretty good. Had pretty good matchups against most of the other sort of decks up there. Just had some kind of unlucky draws near the end of day 1. But anyway, I want to show you guys my list because no other Altergeists or no Altergeist tops, just period. So it's if there's not going to be an Altergeist profile out there from people at topped, because none of them topped, I thought I might as well show off mine so you guys can get some new ideas. And I haven't uploaded a new format deck profile for Altergeist. So anyway, here we go. First, we have 3 copies of Marionetter, the one you want to open in every single hand. 3 copies of Mulseek, obviously the best going second card. This is just the reason you play Altergeist. It's just the one that applies the most pressure. You just send a card, and if they kill it, you just search Multi-Faker. Pretty broken. 2 Silk, obviously. If you can't win games just by drawing Silk, then you don't know how to play this deck quite well. You gotta get to the point where you can just draw Silk as your only monster with no spoofing and still win those. You just gotta use this card. You respect Silk. You can do some pretty crazy stuff with just Silk and Mammoth Station or whatever. 1 Multi-Faker and then 1 Concordia, of course. So the first thing you'll see in terms of winning as many games 1s as possible is that I played 3 Drone Lockbird in the main, which is I don't think it's super popular for Altergeists to do. I think people are still playing Ash Blossom, but I feel this deck can beat most decks going second, just in general, except for Spiral. So I really wanted to play a card that just instantly won that matchup. And I unfortunately didn't draw this card game 1 against Spiral ever, but I don't think I lost to Spiral game 1 either, so that was a pretty big deal. But overall, this card's just very, very impactful, and it's just you can play through most decks without having to need the Ash Blossom, but I feel against Spiral, you really, really want to have that Droll game 1. You want to play as few games out there when your opponent has Evenly Matched and Lightning Storm in their decks. If you can win game 1 and then cheese game 2, you don't have to play a game 3 where you get Lightning Stormed or Evenly Matched. So I just thought that Droll and Lockbird was the right call for that. That is it for the monsters there. There's actually, you'll see there's no Ash Blossom anywhere in the deck list. I just didn't think it was that good. And then we have for the spells, 3 literal Pot of Greed, pretty broken, 1 duality, and then I cut the second duality for 1 for 1. It's like a weird. I think that one for one, this card was like absurd. Like this card lets you do things that this deck is not supposed to be capable of doing. It's just like this deck is not. This deck is balanced by the fact that you're pretty normal summon reliant, but this card just like every time I drew it, it was just like over. It was so strong. I can't believe I didn't play that. But this card's particularly good right now because there's not a lot of people playing Ash Blossom because it's weak against like a lot of the meta strategy. So right now this card's really good. But I would say that I definitely missed the second duality or like a Sangan or like something. I lost a couple games not drawing a monster card. That kind of sucked, but this was like the main like consistency cards, and then I played 2 Call by the Grave in the main deck. This card's kind of weird. It's really impactful against Spiral and against hand traps. There's not that many Ash Blossoms running around right now, so it's not really good against Ash because no one's really playing it. And like Joel doesn't affect you too much, and DD Crow doesn't affect you too much. But this card's really good against Master Plan. That's like the main thing. You can use it against a mirror match to hit like Milliseek or what they target Manifestation. The main issue with this card isn't that it's bad. It's just that it might not be like the highest percentage card in terms of win rate because I lost 2 different games in the tournament, not only the main event. Well, I guess the main event and the Winamat side events like combined to just like not drawing a single trap card. Like I opened hands that were like 4 monsters in a Call by the Grave, where like the Call by the Grave, if it would have been like even like literal trap hole, the Call by the Grave like would have been like it would have won me the game for the trap hole instead. So it's I don't know, you need to draw trap cards, and it might sound like super marginal playing 20 trap cards, which is what this deck has, versus 22 trap cards, which is what the usual build has when you don't play Call by the Grave. But I think like I noticed the difference. I noticed the not having second duality. I noticed not having those 2 extra trap cards because there were a couple games where I drew the Call by the Grave and no other traps or no like trap cards, just period. It's not a trap card, and I just like had the Mulseek. And I had a really good hand. I had like a Droll, a Mulseek, and a Call by the Grave. And if the Call by the Grave would have been like any trap card in the entire game that was activatable, then I would have probably won that game. And it's just like kind of rough. So Call by the Grave was good, but every single time I played this card in Altergeists, I just like always wanted to be a trap card. So it's kind of weird. But I don't know. I thought it would be so good that it would outweigh the fact that it wasn't a trap card, but I'm not entirely sure that playing 2 of them is random. Maybe like one random Call by the Grave seems kind of random, but maybe it would have been like the right choice. I'm not entirely sure. We have 3 spoofing card you want to open every single time. 2 protocol. I wish you could play 3. 1 Manifestation. I considered playing 2 of this. I've seen that become more popular. I even saw a list that played like 2 Manifestation, 1 protocol. That's kind of interesting. But I considered playing 2 of this. There's no space for the normal trap cards. Besides those, we have 3 impermanents, obviously, and 3 evenly matched. Once again, we just want to win as many game 1s as possible. I actually won a lot of die rolls this weekend, so this card didn't come in handy as much game 1, but I think objectively it's the right call, and I think that pretty much all of like the Altergeist players that are on like the up and up are playing evenly matched right now. I think it's like really popular, which is cool to see because I do think it is the right choice right now. The Spiral board is pretty weak to evenly match a lot of times. They just like can't end on the Tri-Gate because Spiral's like they can full combo sometimes, but a lot of times they just like draw like either they just like brick, which happens, or they just draw a hand that can't end on Tri-Gate, so they just end on Appaloosa as sleeper, and then you just like evenly match and just instantly win the game. I will say that it might seem kind of crazy, but like even to the extent where like if I had multi-faker and an evenly matched and impermanence in my hand, I probably 100% I would just not impermanence faker on their turn, like just because like you just want to save the impermanence and the evenly for like you let them do their whole combo and then you impermanence the Tri-Gate and then you evenly the entire board. There's just like no reason to risk it. Like you could like because the problem is if you impermed and then fakered and like it didn't stop their play, now you don't have an impermanence, so you have no out to the Tri-Gate anymore. So if you draw like impermanence evenly, just like let them do their full combo, and then when you draw, just impermanence in standby phase, extravagance in the main phase if you have it, and then evenly match and just like win the game instantly. So that was something that like I'm not sure is like super obvious because like most people just want impermanence to stop the combo, but you know what their combo is going to end on. You know exactly it's going to end on 1 trap negation, which is the Tri-Gate, and you can use impermanence to stop it. So I thought that was like something that is worth mentioning in this profile. We have for the Solemn cards, the Solemn Brigade, if they call it that anymore. I don't think they do in 2020, but 3 Judgment, aka the card that you really want to draw, like the most important card in the entire deck. And then 3 copies of Strike as well, which is really solid, kind of like Call by the Grave in some ways. And then 1 Warning. Yeah, it went to 3. I don't think this card's very good, like honestly. Like I think most people weren't even playing this card in their main deck, which is probably correct. There was like a point when I had 3, 3, and 3 instead of the 2 Call by the Graves, and I'm really glad I didn't do that because this card was not that great, but I don't know. I like these are the cards, and then the last one, which is Imperial Order. These are the cards that like your opponent doesn't want you to have. Like when people complain about Altergeist, they're complaining about these types of cards. And while I think that this deck can win without drawing them, I think that once again you just want to win as many game wins as possible. So like these types of cards just like kind of auto win going first sometimes, and I think that that was just like enough of a reason to put them in there. But I don't know. There's like other trap cards. I didn't play Crackdown. Everyone else seems to be playing Crackdown. Maybe it's better than I think it is, but I'm just really not a fan of that card right now. I think it's just like kind of weak. I think a lot of times they can just like play around it, or God forbid, like one of the things that always happens is like you crack down and then they just like Phoenix it, and they get their monster back, and now the crackdown did nothing. So I really want to play Call by the Grave instead. And then I don't know, you could play like Lost Wind, perhaps. You could play like all sorts of random cards, Torrential Tribute even, Stormir Force. But the Solemns are just like the cards that your opponent is probably going to complain about the most. So I thought that they were the best. But I would be looking to play like other trap cards instead of the Warning. Maybe something else besides the Call by the Grave as well. For the extra deck here, 3 Hexia. So I didn't play Crackdown, so I just had a lot of extra space. 3. I'm like the only person playing this card. 3 Prime Banshee. I know that I'm like the only person doing like the combo with this card, or like one of the only people. I think people just like don't care about the combo with this thing, but like you don't need 3 of this card. I'll be honest, but I just didn't know what else to put in there. 3 Link Creepo, 3 All Mirage, whatever, and then one of this card that's really really bad, and then 1 Phoenix and 1 Avermax. I will say that you should probably play different cards. Like you don't need this. You don't need this. You don't need this. I really, really missed like Lambda. I really missed Borreload Dragon, and then just like maybe even Boral Sword Dragon. There was like 2 times in the tournament where I made a Phoenix in the extra monster zone, and then my opponent didn't kill it, and I just like couldn't combo off anymore, and that really, really sucked. If you have like a Link Creepo in the extra monster zone, you can do cool plays. Like you can I did this where like I had Link Creepo and then I Phoenix, and then I like popped back row, drew a card, and then the next turn I made a Hexia, and that was kind of neat because the Phoenix points there. But overall, I really, really miss Sideframe Lambda just as like a monster to get the Phoenix out of the X monster zone. So I would probably play that instead of like the 3rd Prime Banshee, which is completely unnecessary in most cases. All right. The side deck, we have 3 Border. I have like a love-hate relationship with this card because when I play this deck, I just want to like combo off on my opponent, and this card prevents me from doing that, which I know sounds silly because people would just think of it as like a dumb control deck. But with Altergeists, you're just trying to like, yeah, you're trying to control your opponent, but as soon as they like let off the gas, as soon as they're not pressuring you, you just full combo and end with like 5 negates. And this card, while it can win games, it stops you from like doing that, which kind of sucks. So it's kind of like a one-trick pony. The main reason I played this card is that if you have this card and like 2 back row turn 1, and they have a Lightning Storm, it's like it makes it really awkward because if they can Lightning Storm your 2 back row, you lost 2 back row, that sucks. But now you have the Border and they can't out that. So I felt like it was a way to like make Lightning Storm as awkward as possible for them. This isn't like my cool tech to out Lightning Storm, but it was like a pretty big contributing factor because I was going to play like another like an anti-spell or something, but this being a monster card instead of a back row card, I felt was like actually like really, really relevant because of Lightning Storm in particular, which is really good. Lightning Storm and Evenly Match did not have a resolve against me in the main event. They did in the side events though, but overall I think I had like a pretty good plan against those cards, maybe more so than other people. We also had 3 Sphere Mode. This card is like pretty lackluster. I think it's like maybe correct, but it was pretty bad for me. Like I drew it 3 times against Spiral. 2 of the times they just like didn't combo off at all, so I didn't get a chance to use it. It was a dead card in my hand. And then the last time I drew like the perfect hand because it had like the Sphere Mode in there, and then like the main drawback with Sphere Mode is that you can't normal summon, but it had the spoofing. It had like a random Altergeist card, I don't know, Marionetter probably. So I had like the exact 3 cards you want to have: Sphere Mode, spoofing, Marionetter. So like he did this full combo. I Sphere Moded, took off all of his negates, and I was able to spoofing for Multifaker, and then I still lost. So like if Sphere Mode isn't good in like the best case scenario, and it bricks, or it's like a brick in the cases where they like don't full combo, it might just not be like good enough. Because like the problem is if they full combo after turn 1, like then they can just like OTK you. So if you're just sitting with a Sphere Mode in your hand, like it doesn't do anything. So like I don't know, it's weird. Maybe it is correct. Maybe I just like had a variant situation where like maybe it is better than I think it is, but at least for right now, I'm trying to look for something that's like not Sphere Mode that I can play going forward. The only hand trap I cited was DD Crow because I already had the Drolls in the main. Yeah, this card's good. I didn't really draw it against Spiral, but I think overall it's good. I mean, it's good against Luna, it's good against Spiral, it's good against like random rogues, so I think DD Crow is pretty strong. I saw people like maining it even. And then 3 Heavy Storm Duster. You need something for the mirror match. Like I'm not gonna go through side deck patterns, but most of the side deck patterns in this deck are you're siding out 6 cards. So like against like the mirror match, like going first, well we have this last card as well, but a lot of times you're siding like these and then these 3 cards against the mirror, or maybe like these 9 against like Spiral, for example. You're siding these 6 going second, and then like these 6 going first. Like you have a lot of like 6 for your side deck patterns, so it's important to have like 3 ofs. If you're wondering why the deck's all 3 ofs in the side deck, but Dust is really good. Like you just need something. If you play against a mirror and they have this card and you don't have it in your side deck, you're just gonna lose like so much of the time. It's good going first, good going second. Overall, it's like one of the better cards, probably the best card against like all their control decks. And then lastly, I mean, like I answered it in like the Konami blog for like my tech choice of the weekend, but I won't keep it a secret any longer. A pointer of the Red Lotus. So I'm not the first person to come up with this card. It was played in the past, back when it was ruled differently. So in the past, this card was ruled that if you use this on your opponent's turn, so what this card does, you pay 2,000 life points, you reveal your hand, that's all the costs, and then you look at your opponent's hand and banish a card until their next end phase. And in the past, this has been ruled at different times that it wasn't just their next end phase, it was their next turn's end phase, which is like insane. But this event, it wasn't being ruled that way. It hasn't been ruled that way for like a couple months now at least. But so what this does is that like you go first, and this is like the only card that I found besides Dark Bribe that like could effectively deal with Lightning Storm or Evenly Match, because you just take it out of their hand. And what's really cool about this card, it's not once per turn. So if you have like multiples, you can do like multiples. But what's especially intriguing about this card and what makes it so powerful is that if your opponent didn't draw the Lightning Storm and didn't draw the Evenly Match or any back row removal, so like, you know, the case where like a Huge Revolution is over or Wiretap would be just dead cards. If they didn't draw the back removal, you just take the best card out of their hand. And that's kind of what I was talking about, like just in like some cases here where like the goal of the Altergeists is that if they don't put pressure on you for even like one turn, you just full combo. If you make their hand subpar, I mean, Spiral are pretty prone to bricking, and like even if they don't draw the back removal cards, you can just take out like whatever their best starter card or best extender card is. You just like make it so they don't do a full combo or don't do a combo at all, because you have other back row choices, and now you can just full combo and just kill them, because like it's just so broken. I can't rave about it. This card. Way overperformed. I was gonna side 2 and then I sided 3, and it was just like every time I drew this, every game I drew this card, I won. Like it wasn't even close, because you just like, if you banish the Evenly Match of Lightning Storm out of their hand, when they get it back in the end phase, like they can't use it, because on the next turn they're gonna have cards on the field now. Like they're not just gonna, like, yeah, you could banish the Evenly or the Lightning Storm and then just pass, but then you're just gonna full combo and have Hexia and Hexia. It's like 2 Hexias. Like what are they gonna do against that? So it banishes the Lightning Storm, it banishes the Evenly Match, it banishes the best card of their hand if they don't have either of those. I'm not trying to like overhype this card, because like I said, I wasn't exactly sure how good it was, but this, like, I'm saying this like full honesty here, this was like the most overpowered card in the side deck, and just like game 2 and 3, like this is the card that I wanted to draw every single time, and it made every single hand just like almost unbeatable unless they had like double Evenly or double Lightning Storm. And even then, like if they have like double Evenly, double Lightning Storm, you can take like the starter out of the hand. So like, yeah, they'll destroy your back row, but then like they don't have a starter card, so you just can't combo, it just doesn't matter. Anyway though, that was the deck profile there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, the first new format Altergeist profile, and yeah, I look forward to Vegas. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys are there, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Goodbye.